following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Perry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
Well, beam me up. You are now rocking with the best. This is Talkin Cowboys on a Tuesday. And I have my usual suspect with me, Mr. Isaiah Stanback, former Cowboys wide receiver and Super Bowl champ. And, man, we've made a trade for one big play.
First round pick.
There's some guys that are gone now that this guy's here, but you know what? I feel like he's been itching his whole career to get down here. And,
for this show.
Yeah, and he's finally with us.
Okay, who we got?
We got Nicholas Eatman in the building. What's up, Nick?
What's up, man? Hey, Nick, is this the first time we've ever done a show together?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good, because I would hate for you to say, like, no, it's the sixth time.
No, this is our first time.
That's what I thought.
We've had a lot of sports arguments.
Yeah. So, first time I ever met this guy. I didn't even know him. It was like at a Christmas party. He was, I heard your show the other day. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Respectfully. And I was like, it was something like that. I was like,
I respect that.
Yeah. Hey, you're used to it, Isaiah.
Yeah, I am.
That's what I just tweeted out, though. I hit the transfer portal for one day.
Is that what it is? I like that.
Or I should have kept it. You know what I should have said? I was named an alternate because that's kind of the theme of what's happening here this week.
You are an alternate.
Yeah, and I didn't pass like Dak. I took it, so, yeah. But
my man, Nick, he's coming out with the fire guns blazing.
I just don't understand. I think from what I heard, I know we're supposed to talk about maybe Pro Bowl on the list, maybe not. I don't know.
We have a few things on the list.
Just Dak said that, like, he, I guess he wants the rest, or that's what's been implied, that he wants the rest. I've covered the Pro Bowl a couple of times. It's not boot camp. I mean, like, it's not, like, it'd be okay. I don't understand what's happening. I guess I don't know what his body feels like or whatever, but, man, I'm taking that third Pro Bowl appearance if it's offered to me. I don't know, but it's not. So.
Isaiah, what about you? What say you on turning down the Pro Bowl?
At the quarterback position, I'm taking it. It's chill. It's super chill. Now, there's always a risk. I mean, that's the angle that he's taking. I totally understand that. There's always a risk to injury, even when you're in chill mode. Okay, there's a reason why cats don't go back and play pickup basketball after they get done playing sports. But for the most part, to your point, I was able to go attend the Pro Bowl when T.O. made it in my first year here in 2007. He took the whole receiver group, and it was an awesome experience, man. Just team bonding, being able to to celebrate those on your squad that had high achievements. Everybody has a part in that. But I don't know the reasoning for him stepping away and not wanting to participate, but every man has the right to make their own decisions.
Well, fellas, I was going to ask y'all how y'all feeling today, but everybody's fired up. Nick brought the energy. I mean, he came out blazing, saying he's in the transfer portal. But before I get in trouble with the powers that be upstairs, Talkin Cowboys is presented by Tito's, the official chip and dip, and the official chip of America's team. So I got to make sure I do not want to. You know what?
I'm laughing because is it Tostitos?
Tostitos.
All right.
What'd I say?
I don't know.
I thought he said
You said Tito's.
No, Tostitos.
Okay.
We got a new sponsor. We got a new.
Cool. That'd be all right too.
Hey man, that's a little that Oak Cliff coming out.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
Tostitos. Excuse me.
There you go.
All right, so guys, over the weekend, obviously we've had a lot going on with the AFC and NFC championship. However, at 8:40 today, an announcement was made, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on one Tom Brady walking away from football after 22 seasons, which is unheard of. And Isaiah, I'll start with you because you played with the man.
I did.
What was your reaction?
Proud of him. I mean, he has set the mark that is maybe unattainable by most standards. I mean, this dude is He's a professional, man. I mean, he's a great person. He's a great teammate. I haven't seen anybody work harder mentally at the game of football. Obviously, when I was released here in 2009 at their camp, the last preseason game, my next stop 2 days later, I was in New England, sitting in the meeting room with Tom Brady, right, in the quarterback room. So it was myself, Tom Brady, and Brian Hoyer, and Billy O'Brien. And I was thrown into that, and I had to learn what it meant at that level, right, at his level, to be a professional, and to watch his approach to the game, to watch his approach to fitness and training and practice and walkthroughs and just the attentiveness and his focus. It was amazing to be a part of it and experience it. So I'm super duper proud of him and his career. I hate that somebody leaked it, last week. I can't believe that, but that's not going to take away any portion of what he's been able to accomplish in his career.
What about you, Nick?
I think he's obviously the most accomplished player, I think, in NFL history. And I don't even know if you can say arguably the best quarterback. I've always been a guy that thought for one game, Peyton Manning, I'd take him. But, I don't know how you can argue that, really. But I will say this about Tom Brady, and this is absolutely 1,000% not a dig at him. I think what he did is he took the term bus driver and threw it out the window. Because to me, Tom Brady has been a bus driver quarterback, and that is not a bad thing. It was considered a bad thing at one time, but now it's like he's doing exactly what you've got to do. And there's nothing wrong with being a bus driver. Sometimes you got to go 20 through a school zone. Sometimes you got to go 90. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're driving with a bomb and they're like Speed, the movie. I mean, you got to drive this thing. Sometimes you take it off into the ditch. Do whatever you got to do, but control it at all times, at all speeds. Take a 4-yard pass. Take it 60. He is, I think, the best at it at all time, and he's never got greedy. He didn't get greedy. He was like, whatever's here is there. And that's the one thing I do think Dak could learn the best is don't be so greedy. You're in. You got a contract. You're going to be the starter. Just take what's there, and let's keep rolling.
And so much of my comments, I know Heckma and I get into it all the time. So much of my comments when it comes from the quarterback position doesn't just come from my personal experience of playing the position, but also sitting in that meeting room with TB12 for that year and really understanding conceptually how to help a team win ball games. Yeah. So much of my comments come from this man right here in terms of taking what the defense gives you. Take the little dump. How many times does he throw it to his running back? That's that check down all the time. Why did he always make sure that he had a good scat back? Because it was valuable to him. He understood that they're going to have to be coverage down the field. So to your point, Nick, I wholeheartedly agree that Dak can take a big chunk out of Tom Brady's book and not only just make his career last a lot longer, but help this organization be in a position to win some Super Bowls.
Look, man, I'm not going to hold any punches on this one, man. For a good part of his career, I have not liked Tom Brady as a player.
Yeah, me too.
He's had me in a submission hold his whole career, just being successful and beating you down. And my favorite Tom Brady moment has to be in the Super Bowl versus Atlanta when he's down 21-3. He's down 28-3. And he's sitting there on the bench, and they're panning right on him, and it's like the death of a dynasty right in front of you. It's like, it's finally over. He's just going to walk off into the sunset, and that joker got up. And he brought this team back and won a Super Bowl. And to me, that was my moment where I said, I just can't do this anymore. This is greatness. I'm watching something great. And what he did last year, which he just went on even further with how great he is.
That happens to me with a lot of athletes, like younger in their career, whether maybe they're on a team you don't like, but when they keep going and they get an older guy, and then there's a young guy. Now that comes along that's kind of pushing them. That happened to me with Brett Favre. That happened to me with Kobe Bryant. Like the older that they get, and you're like, I don't really know if I'm pulling for them and their team, but like, you got to respect what they've done for so long.
Absolutely.
I mean, it happens, and he's in that category for me. Like, how can you hate this guy?
You can't. And speaking of, man, that's a good transition for the AFC Championship, talking about a young gun going up against a guy that has done it a few times so far now. What did you guys think in that showdown between Mahomes and Burrow in the AFC Championship?
Just tell it two halves. I feel like the Cowboys Nation knows a lot about that through a couple of our games this year. But I think Mahomes, the first half balled out. That first half, they took care of business. They were the Kansas City that everybody expected. The second half, I don't know what was going on. I mean, the coverage was good. He had all the time in the world pocket-wise, and then he was just running around like a Tasmanian devil and making bad decisions. And it was like, what the heck is going on? I honestly feel as if they got comfortable. Yeah. I honestly feel like 4 straight trips to the AFC Championship game, whatever. Whatever happens, versus a team that was super-duper hungry, hasn't been there since Jesus was born, and they're like, we're not missing this opportunity. I think that was the difference in the game, and obviously you see the heads hanging low. They missed opportunity.
And Nick, tying this into a question, tying this into the Cowboys, that first half, when you watch Andy Reid not kick a field goal at the end of the first half. And I don't know if it was arrogance. I don't know if it's arrogance or if it's analytics or if they all go in together at this point. Does it remind you of some of the struggles that we've had, coaching-wise, clock management-wise? Did that kind of take you back deja vu?
I think so. I mean, I'm not a big guy, big on clock management against McCarthy that much.
Okay.
And I said this I think last week, and I'll explain it again later on. But for that particular one, I just thought there should have been 2 plays, and Mahomes messed it up. I mean, he threw it to a guy, and he thought maybe he would break a tackle and didn't get in. But I mean, that was where the game was lost at the end of the first half, into the game or into regulation. They had the ball first and goal in the 1, first and goal in the 5. They got 3 points out of it. That's the game. I mean, I think if you score a touchdown there, especially a touchdown, was it 21-10?
Yeah.
It's 28-10, and they're not coming back from that.
Yep.
Yeah, and my whole thing was, even in the first half, I thought when they didn't kick the field goal, I said, they're going to lose this game. Yeah. Simply because that's your ball game right there, as you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. If you just play a little bit of defense in the second half, they tie you up, you win the game on a field goal. You don't even need to – and that's – again, the end of the first half and then the end of the second half with the miscues. And I just thought that was really something to see those coaching mistakes, and, again, tying it back into the Dallas Cowboys. But, man, we got to go over to the NFC because Isaiah Stanback has been LA Rams from the beginning and just basically saying that this is a team of destiny. What were your impressions of the game versus the 49ers?
They showed out. I mean, everybody who needed to step up, all the acquisitions that they made to ensure that they had this opportunity showed up. That's what I was saying. They were not going to miss this opportunity. Von Miller, even though he didn't show up in the stat line, he affected the doggone game in a major way. Aaron Donald, you saw him soft-spoken, right? He's the Amari Cooper of defensive linemen, right? He's very soft-spoken, but he pulled that team together. It was like, hey, figure this crap out, right? And he went out there and led by example. He was dominant, causing all kinds of issues. Big gains right there in the middle from UW. He killed it as well. And then you go on to the back half, right? Then you got Ramsey, and then offensively, Odell Beckham, Matthew Stafford making good decisions. All these guys took care of business, right? And they took the 49ers out of their game. They took them out of their game. They were no longer able to play the bully ball that we've heard about this entire, playoff run.
Were you shocked by the 49ers and the way that they came out? I mean, they had a lead, and it seems like they just could not hold on to it. For a second there, it looked as though like the game was over. But what were your impressions of the NFC Championship?
I thought those are 2 great teams that know each other well. I knew it was going to be a good game. It was kind of the flip of the game we saw in Week 18. Yep. When I was pulling for the wrong team, I was thinking that was good that the 49ers won. Right. In hindsight, I wish that didn't happen. But Isaiah said it best. I mean, those guys that came in, I mean, they all did their thing. And I'll throw another one in because I don't think he was this year. It might have been the year before. But it kind of seemed like it started with that trend with Whitworth, the tackle, who looks like Santa Claus, but like he's still balling, he's still playing, And that guy is outstanding. And I just think, I hope that the teams and the Cowboys too look at that and go, you know what, this win now approach. I mean, not. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you're getting ahead. That was my name. Okay. Pull back a little bit because that was my next question. After watching what they did, after watching the championship weekend, how far did you look at TV? Were you looking at your television like we're nowhere close to that, or we're right there as far as being in those championship games?
Well, I can't say that because I've never been there. I've never been to a championship game. I don't even know what that's like. But I think this team is close. They are close. They were close to the teams that beat them. They're just not good enough to beat them. So I don't know. I think that this team is. I mean, they were close to the Chiefs relatively, but playing with kind of shorthanded there. I mean, but I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, this is good. I mean, they were way better than the teams in their division, and the teams that were mediocre, but they weren't ready to take that next level. And it's going to be tough to do that with losing some of the players they're going to lose, but, coaches should be back.
You know the bandwagon I've been on. Hey, listen here. It frustrates me, and I get it. As a general manager of an organization, you have to prepare your team for the future. Right, you have to secure the future of the organization, but the future doesn't mean a doggone thing if you don't take care of the now. Sometimes the now predicates, has a big effect over what's going to happen down the line. So if you're not balling out and winning ball games, going to the playoffs, winning championships, then who really wants to come play for you?
Yeah.
So people come. People go to different organizations for two reasons: money, championships. That's it. I don't give a dog on what anybody else says. I'm going to get paid or I'm going to win a championship. And sometimes I will give on the money to get a championship. We see that. We saw that in Tampa, right? We've seen it over and over again. Guys want to go play with TB12. Dallas Cowboys have had a number of opportunities to go and secure the bag in terms of getting a dominant player that could really push them over the edge, and they've pulled back numerous times. Numerous times. Not just once, not with the Honey Badger and everybody. I can go down the line of all these guys that could have had a big effect on this roster now, right? Just throw the money out there, kick the can down the road with the other stuff like the Cowboys always do, and secure the bag. They didn't do so, right? So they even with that statement, they still had a stacked roster. They still had one of the most talented rosters in the league, top three, I would have to say, next to KC and LA. I would stand behind that all day long. But play calling, players not making plays, all those things came out to the same result that they've had in the past. It has to change. Do you pull the trigger on something major going forward? I don't know. But to Nick's point, you got to make sure that you have the foundational pieces in place going into next year now.
I'm not ready to do what the Rams did. I'm not ready to not pick, before the next Olympics here. That they don't pick for like 3 years in the first round.
Yep,
2024.
But I just feel like I've always thought this. You're in the third round, you're in the fourth round, teams want picks. And you look at a guy, like I'm not even going to throw a name out there, but I'm just saying, you find a player that is second to last year in his contract, they'll trade him, they'll dump him. That's what I would do. I would try to get a player like that instead of, so I don't get another Odigizua or Chauncey Golston or whatever, Jabril Cox, third or fourth round. But I get a guy now the money's a little different. But if you can handle it on your salary cap, that's what the Rams did, and they didn't just trade first round picks. They figured out ways to get these guys.
But speak historically from the Dallas Cowboys, and they've made those kind of trades before with a Joey Galloway, or trading for Roy Williams, or trading up to get Roy Williams, or even trading for Amari Cooper. Those haven't necessarily paid dividends for them. So do you think they're gun shy to do that now, or do you think they just hadn't found the right combination or guy that's going to fit their system?
I think all three of those are a little different. I really do. And I say that. Joey got hurt, and then the quarterback got hurt, and then he was catching passes from Quincy and Anthony Wright and all the Sterner. But Roy, I think that's a good example. You were here when Roy got traded, right? See, that was interesting because I don't think he did anything that first year. It took him a little bit. I got to give the Rams credit, not just bringing the guys in, but their coaching staff of figuring out ways to get them to play at that level. Because Roy Williams, when he got here, was not ready to be the star that's worth of a first-round pick. I think he needed an offseason and all that. And that's what's kind of tough with receivers. Von Miller, go rush the passer. I don't know how much there is for him to be a part of that.
My whole thing is, it's a different psychology. The Rams don't give a doggone about years down the road.
No,
because that's good. It's down the road.
Obviously,
it's down the road. What can I control? I can control today and hopefully tomorrow. Right? That's all I have control over. But I'm gonna take care of today. So remember when they brought in Odell Beckham? Who were their receivers?
Cup and Woods, right?
Yeah.
Cups, Woods, Van Jefferson. Yeah. Right? Then Woods got hurt. Right? So they had Van Jefferson, Cup, and they had Odell. But they were intending on having a four-headed monster at receiver, plus Higbee. Right? They didn't give a doggone, right? Akers, Sony Michel in the backfield, right? They've been building this for a minute now. So they wanted an offense that was impossible to stop, and they secured that. Impossible to stop. I don't care if you can't stop our receivers, you can't stop our tight ends, you can't stop our running backs, you can't stop our quarterback. At all levels, we're going to dominate you offensively. Cool. Now let's move to the defensive side of the ball. How can we ensure that we always have guys that can take care of business? Okay. Let's go ahead and get Ramsey. All right, Ramsey, the best shutdown corner in the league, right? One of the few, if one or two shutdown corners in the whole league,
right.
Legitimately, right? let's grab Ramsey. Okay, cool. We got Ramsey. We got the secondary. Okay, cool. Let's go out there and grab. Oh crap, who can go good with Aaron Donald? Oh, Von Miller. Yeah, let's make it happen. I don't care how it has to happen. Let's make it happen. Let's get this on the books. So they single-handedly went out there and said, these are our guys. These are the guys that are going to push us over the edge. We don't want guys that are going to give us a chance. We want guys that are going to make us dominant. And when these guys are all playing their best, they're all hungry, they all want a ring, and they're all willing to go out there and do whatever it takes at their position, put them in position to be successful, much like Dan Quinn did this year, put guys in position to be successful. But these are all hungry, dominant players in the league, not guys that are question marks, not guys that may give you an edge. No, these guys are effective. And I wish that Dallas would do that. Now, they still had a chance. I'm saying that Dallas still was more than in position to take care of business this year, and they just didn't with the roster that they had. Jerry Jones and Will McClay, those guys, amazing freaking job stacking this roster up. Unfortunately, in the league, we know it's hard to double down on that, right? And Kansas City has done it. Tampa Bay has done it, but it's very difficult to retain guys. Now, they have their pieces in, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. The guys that they were able to retain coaching-wise, but it makes it very difficult going forward now because now not only are you looking at, we could have got these pieces that really would have pushed us over the edge. Now they're back to the conversation of, all right, now we need the foundational guys. Who's going to be on our depth now? They can't even talk about the big-time players now.
Yeah, you're going to have us in a position. I'm glad you're not the general manager. We wouldn't be picking till 2028.
Hey, but guess what? It wouldn't be the Rams, though. It wouldn't be the Rams. We wouldn't be talking about the 90s.
Yeah, we sure would.
I mean, like, if the Rams lose to the Bengals, was it worth it?
Yes, because you had a chance.
Yeah.
And you're saying, yes, it's worth it.
I think so. To be in the Super Bowl, yeah, I mean, that's all you can.
That's what you play for.
That's what you play for. I mean, it'll go down. The game will be close in the fourth quarter. You're not going to blow out the Bengals. I mean, they're not going to go down. I mean, so they'll fight back, and I think it'll be close. And yeah, I don't see it being a failure. Now, if they didn't make the Super Bowl,
that's a failure.
Then they fell short of their goal. But yeah, to get there, I mean, and they're going to struggle. I mean, the Rams are going to struggle after this. Mm-hmm. Their quarterback's older, and all those pieces, they can't keep them all. And then they don't have the draft picks. They will struggle. But it's worth it if you go and win.
You play for one reason, man. People in Cowboys Nation are holding on to what? What's the last championship that was here?
95.
That's what people are holding on to. They're holding on to that.
Like Teddy Ruxpin, that's the hope. Holding on to that.
Right? That's the hope. They literally are grasping that thing. Like, you remember back in 95? Well, we was killing them. That's what they're holding on to. Now, the last opportunity that they've had was back then. That's the last shot that the Cowboys have had at a Super Bowl. I'm talking about being in the game.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
You're not going to keep any fans. I mean, you talked about holding on. There's people that are listening right now that weren't alive. They want to. They want to be a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
God bless them because, I mean, like, you know, what do they have to cheer for? I mean, what have they had? What has been their moment? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's tough. I mean, yeah, you're saying older fans are holding on to
Correct.
it. Younger fans are
looking for something to grasp.
They don't have it.
Yep.
So
agreed.
Well, we're going to look for something to hold on to in the second segment because Kyle Yeomans is going to be calling in from Mobile, Alabama from the Senior Bowl. We're going to find us another dog down there in future Cowboy. Stay with us here on Talkin Cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf. the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done,
get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Head to AT&T Stadium March 5th and 6th for the legendary Western Weekend featuring the 2022 PBR Global Cup USA and the American Rodeo. Don't miss the fun-filled weekend, capped off with a performance by Grammy Award-winning superstar Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Get your tickets at SeatGeek.com, the official ticket provider of AT&T Stadium.
I want to go.
That's one of your reads?
Yeah.
I want to go. SeatGeek, hook your boy up.
About DCU and partnerships at WrestleMania. That's all I got is WrestleMania. I didn't get any of that.
I'm trying to go to that too.
Well, when you know the person personally that hands these out, you kind of typically
you get peppy to that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you were a WWE superstar, what would your name be?
Oh God, Manhead.
Oh my.
Man,
what the? Damn it.
The Incredible Heck.
The Incredible Heck.
Chris, help us out.
Heck Hogan.
Well, my head's been this size since like 5. You know what I mean? So
you were the head lieutenant from Living Color. For those that don't know who that is, go look it up.
We got to see. This is how you do. I knew you at some point, and I was prepared to say he's gonna do it, and I can't let you do me like this. You're gonna give me up.
You don't ask that question if you don't have your own answer.
No, you know what? I tried out for the WWE.
When?
What?
Yeah.
Just when you think you know a guy. What's happening?
Yeah, I went down there for a tryout. What year are we in?
What?
22. I think I went down there in like 2017, maybe 16, 17.
I'm taking it didn't go well.
No, they offered me. I turned them
you
down.
need more personality. I'm sorry, sir.
No, it was good. It was fun.
They offered you a deal.
They offered me a deal. Yeah.
And you said no.
Yeah, I said no. It wasn't enough money to be moving my family down to Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I can see this, bro.
It was good. Oh, it was awesome.
It all makes sense now.
I'll show you the YouTube video. It's on YouTube.
It all makes sense.
Can you do the moves?
It was a 3-day camp, I think it was. And oh my God, my body hurt so bad. After that, I had a whole new respect. I understand. I don't want to ruin it for the kids, but we all know what wrestling is, okay? But the physicality.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Top rope, all that.
Bruh, I didn't get there. All we did was we did handstands, somersaults, flips. Bumps is what they call it when you hit the mat. Running the ropes. My back, bro, was done. It's elevator cables. The ropes are elevator cable wrapped in tape.
Yeah.
So if you don't hit it right, it will take your soul from you. But my whole lats, my back was all just ripped up and red and swollen. It was bad. I'll show you guys a video.
I know there's different terms. I'm sorry, I don't have the right terms. I mean, but are you a good guy or a bad guy? Or heel, I think is the term.
Oh, I was a good guy. I was a real one.
You gonna be a good guy?
Oh, yeah, I was a good guy.
You might be one that turns though on your tag team partner.
Everybody turns.
Yeah.
They make everybody turn.
I am so impressed right now. Can you tell by my face?
Oh.
I am impressed right now.
I'm a big WWE fan.
That's
huge.
crazy.
Huge. Whenever they come into town, I'm there.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Stone Cold, hands down.
Okay. What about you?
Coco Beware.
Oh yeah. What was his parrot's name?
Oh, don't do me like that.
Damn it.
He can't be a big fan.
He ain't a big fan.
Dang it.
Coco Beware. I mean, I love Coco.
I know, I
Beware.
did too. I did too.
What's his parrot's name?
Frankie.
Oh, wow. I thought you didn't know that.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go with it. It sounds right.
Like that. Well, let's get this thing back on the road. You got to tell me, who's your favorite WWE?
I mean, the Von Erichs. I mean, but they're not, just Kevin's with us now. But, yeah, I like the Von Erichs for sure. And then I liked I like Randy Macho Man Savage.
Yeah,
Macho Man Savage.
Never too slow.
Yes. Absolutely. What's up, Chris? Who's yours?
Yeah, Beamer, what you got?
No, I was just looking up this, and it says on Twitter,
Frankie.
Blue and yellow macaw named Frankie.
Yes. I am a loser.
He killed me.
That's my guy.
I know my wrestling,
Hey,
sort
man,
of.
wrestling
No,
is
I'm not
real.
Rob Phillips.
There's no way.
Have y'all done this with Rob?
Well, he was with The Undertaker on the side. We're still
I mean,
jealous
all you
of
have
that.
to do is just be like, hey, Rob, WrestleMania 9. He's like, well, that was when the Ultimate Warrior fought Sergeant Slaughter.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Tells you the venue.
It's really kind of Rain Man-esque the way that he does that. I think he has it written down somewhere. There's no way that he knows it like
he can
that.
do it.
It's like Nick with games.
Super Bowls is kind of my thing. I could do that, but what he's got, I mean, it's just two teams playing in the Super Bowl, and it's a party everyone goes to.
He knows the headliner.
For him to get like WrestleMania 21, it was like, well, Tugboat won the Intercontinental Championship.
I am such a loser.
Right. I mean, if you get that right, yeah. What about Jake the Snake? My son is named Jacob, and we call him Jake the Snake. What was his snake's name?
Why you doing me like this, man?
Damien. I think. I'm pretty. That sounds right, but yeah.
You know this, man. You're just showing out right now. You got me with the Perrion. Now you gave me this.
I'm showing out with my '80s wrestling.
I'm a loser. Well, look, let's get this thing back on Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl is going off, and Kyle Yeomans. I think I could hear him breathing on the phone. Kyle Yeomans, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It's probably the wind because I kind of escaped all the way up to the top of the stadium here because I'm still trying to get a look at some guys while I'm waiting on you to ask me who my favorite wrestler is.
Oh. Well, let us ask. Who is your favorite wrestler, Kyle Yeomans?
I'm with Isaiah 100%. Stone Cold all day, every day.
All right.
UNT grad, my friend. The North Texas brethren. So, yeah, go Stone Cold. I liked him before I knew he went to North Texas, but now it's solidified.
Okay.
Are there any offensive linemen down there that remind you of Stone Cold Steve Austin? Have you found them yet?
There's a couple guys that are bigger than Stone Cold, so that's exciting. That's actually who I'm watching right now. So they've got all of the position groups separated at the moment, and I'm right up on top of the offensive line. I tweeted this out a couple moments ago, but Trevor Penning, offensive tackle / guard out of Northern Iowa. He's probably going to be a tackle because he's 6'7" and just a long, lean machine. I mean, this guy is the most physical, imposing guy out on the field at the moment. But there's a couple guys. There's Gadecki out of Central Michigan who could potentially be a guard and maybe swing out the tackle as well. He's had a pretty good couple of reps. And then I really like Falale from Minnesota who is out here as well. So there's three guys that I've already tabbed, guys, that could potentially come and slide in and fit into a potential mix if the Cowboys wanted to potentially go to that offensive line.
Hey, Kyle.
What's up?
Any centers out there?
Not that I can really see. Nobody's snapping at the moment, at least near me. I'm the complete opposite side of the quarterbacks. And they waited until, Robert Saleh and company, the Jets coaching staff is the one that's leading this practice. It started, quote-unquote, at 11:30. And, we're at, almost 12, and we're in the first drill. So I haven't gotten to see a whole lot of centers yet, but I'll get back to you on that one for sure.
Isaiah, you got anything for Kyle?
Kyle, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, Isaiah?
Good. I'm kind of worried though because you're out of breath. You said you went up the stadium stairs.
Oh,
and then
I'm not out of breath.
You try to blame it on
the
wind. Can you just make sure that you're staying on your training regimen?
I am. I'm
okay.
Good. No, this is definitely the wind. I promise.
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
out of breath.
Are there any big boys up front on the defensive line? Are there any guys that can consume some blockers for us on that defensive front? Are you seeing anything down there?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of guys. Those trash can full of dirt types that we kind of called like Quentin Bohanna last year. There's a couple of those guys down here, but of course the Cowboys have a track record of picking defensive tackles out of Mobile. Look at just 2 years ago, Neville Gallimore in the third round, Osa Odigizua last year. They like picking interior linemen that they get a really good look at, and I've seen Will McClay kind of wandering that direction on the field surface and on the sideline. Perrion Winfrey is one guy that I really like. He may not be available if the Cowboys wanted to wait into the second round to pick him, which I don't think he would be an option at 24. I think he'd be a little bit rich for that. But at 58, that's certainly a spot where he could land and maybe be an investment in terms of stopping the run. Out of Oklahoma, he's a bigger player. He was a transfer that came in after Neville Gallimore. And honestly, his tape is better at stopping the run than Neville Gallimore. Gallimore could rush the passer a little bit. but Perrion Winfrey looks like a guy who can maybe stop the run. So I'm excited to see what he has this week, and we'll get a better look at that when we get into team drills to Isaiah, because there's a really talented class of running backs. I feel like maybe 8 of my 10 top running backs are in Mobile right now. And so I think there's a good chance you're going to see exactly how an offensive line is going to get moved by those big trash can full of dirt types in the middle of the defensive line, which is what the Cowboys could be looking for.
Hey, Kyle, do you have your roster in front of you?
It's on my phone. I've been going the digital route today. So
right.
What do you need to know?
I was just going to say, tell me who's practicing what team and look at their corners. And then just because I know how you've got it, usually you got all this color coded sheets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just go by the height. The tallest corner that you're watching, that's the guy Dan Quinn's looking at right there. If you got anybody in the 6 range, that's it.
I've got your name, and I mentioned him on the draft show last week. But Tariq Woolen out of UTSA, Reek the Freak is what they call him. Heckman got a chance to see him with me when we called that North Texas UTSA game. 6'3", he was a wide receiver turned corner, which of course the Cowboys like those guys. Trayvon Diggs. So they
different competition there, Alabama and UTEP. Big week for him though, right? I mean, this is where those guys have to show that. All right, I didn't just do it in Conference USA. I'm doing it.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm leading into, because he did it in the best competition games that they had all year. I mean, Western Kentucky, who has a quarterback here and a wide receiver here, and Bailey Zappi, and a wide receiver slot guy that Woolen actually got to cover a little bit, and he shut him down for 1 reception for 6 yards. And so even the best competition that he's seen still is here in Mobile, but now he's got an even playing field. So I'm really excited to see what he's able to do. Moving into the latter practice. He's not on the field at this very moment, but he will be in the late practice, and I think he could certainly kind of rise up draft boards and maybe be on the radar for the Cowboys if they wanted to take a guy moving forward.
We got Kyle Yeomans on the phone from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. And Kyle, I got to ask you about wide receivers. And with Michael Gallup possibly leaving in free agency, and who knows what's going to happen with Amari Cooper, got to ask, man, is there any Deebo Samuels prototypes down there? Do we have any of those Tariq Hills laying around? Any of those guys?
It's a big ask.
God, wouldn't that be nice if you could just have a tag on a guy and say, hey, he's going to be Deebo Samuel? That sounds great. Right. Probably the closest thing, maybe not to Tyreek Hill, but the closest thing to what the Cowboys could see is Jahan Dotson. He's my number 5 rated wide receiver. He's the top guy here at the Senior Bowl. He's from Penn State. 5'11", 185 pounds. Really, really solid football player. Played in the slot. He played a little bit outside, but I don't know if he would necessarily translate that into the NFL. I think for the most part he'll probably stay as a slot receiver. But even if a guy like Gallup comes back and they hold on to Amari and CD, I mean, there's a guy that could rotate in and successfully play meaningful snaps and play some meaningful time with this offense. And I think he's probably limited this week, so that's kind of sad that I don't know if we're going to get a whole lot of chance to see him. But he's on the Senior Bowl list. He's down here in Mobile, and hopefully he's somebody that the Cowboys could maybe look at as well moving forward.
Oh, good, Kyle. Well, thank you so much.
Hold on, I have a question for him.
You got a question? Okay, my bad.
Kyle, well, you've had 2 meals there, I would imagine, since you've been in Mobile. Where have you gone, or just what have you eaten?
Okay, so the first stop, and it was actually the place where I learned about your Super Bowl trick, was Moe's Barbecue.
Okay, good.
So we went to Moe's for lunch yesterday.
There you go.
And last night I met a friend of mine out for sushi at a place called Cluck's.
Okay.
And it was like a homegrown sushi bar, like from boat to table sort of deal. And I had this like big sushi roll. It was called the Donkey.
Yeah, I lost. It doesn't matter. When you said barbecue, I was good. That was it. I mean, as long as you just went to Mobile, and at least one time, maybe 2 or 3, whatever. Got to get barbecue if you go down there. Or anywhere.
What's the Super Bowl trick?
I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
Where you can name every player and every coach, or not coach, every player or MVP.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah, that Super Bowl trick. You mentioned it a moment ago with.
Yeah, we had that conversation at the. Okay, my bad. We went. Yeah, I was. I go to when we go to the Senior Bowl. I mean, I'm going to every barbecue place there is. So I mean,
it's phenomenal. It really is.
Moe's. That's right.
Well, Kyle,
I learned that for the first trip though.
All right.
I am keeping your seat warm today, sir, and I got Chris Beam yelling in my ear to get off with you. I'm joking. I'm just joking with you, man. But it's all good. We will be here waiting on you when you return. When are you getting back, by the way?
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
We would get back on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, that's where Nick will be putting rose petals on the ground. We'll see you then, bro.
Thank goodness. I love it.
Later.
See ya.
Okay.
Yo. So
he ain't getting back Thursday. I'm just gonna tell you.
That is not.
That's
happening.
not happening.
And maybe
sounds good.
Does he not know what's about?
He knows a little bit. We've talked about the weather and all that, but I don't think that's happening on Thursday.
So when you see that weather alert, you don't even anyway, because he's from Seattle, so obviously
this is it doesn't happen.
This Texans is freaking out, man. It's cold weather.
So, if you don't know this, in Dallas, we're expecting some inclement weather on Wednesday night and Thursday, and guaranteed schools will be closed on Thursday. They're already gearing up for it.
My kids say, we may not have school on Thursday. I said, why? I said, because it's going to be cold. I'm like, turn the heat on.
Yeah, well, we call it Snowmageddon around here if we just get it.
Right. With this power grid, ain't no telling if we'll have some.
Yeah, if we can just get some lights.
Yeah.
But going back to the Senior Bowl, guys, and I don't know, obviously, what you know about the players.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
The players that we are expecting. But as far as, obviously looking around the NFL, and we talked about being close to championships weekend, any players in particular you're looking at or any group in particular you're looking at? I know you said something about defensive line, center. Are those the positions in particular that you're looking for?
I think for this team to be where they want to be, I think you have to secure the offensive line. Just right off the bat. I mean, you're asking a lot of Dak. Now, obviously, he has a lot of work he has to do this offseason. Kellen Moore has a lot of work he needs to do this offseason. Everybody has work to do. But you can't do any of it offensively unless you have those guys up front that are taking care of business. You can't have a run game with the inexperience that we have at the guard and center position, and you can't have an effective passing game when you're giving up that kind of pressure from the interior offensive line. You just can't. You can't afford it. So our bookends are perfectly fine. I think Collins and Tyron, as long as neither one of those guys try to shut it down or call it a career, I think you're good there. Obviously, you got big boy, at the right guard position. Martin, he's good. Now it's just a matter of getting. Hey, is Biotis gonna be your guy, we know Connor is not the guy going forward. So left guard for sure, and then I think you have to look at somebody who can challenge Biotis and push him maybe to the level he needs to be playing at.
What about you, Nick?
Totally agree with that. I mean, and I think that when you're looking at Senior Bowl, where you're when you're picking at 24, you can get value. You can get value there. You can get maybe the best center, maybe not the best center because the guy from Iowa here is really good. But I mean, if you can get a guard center, those guys are usually ready to play, and you can get them at that range. You can't if you get a wide receiver or defensive end or 24. Who knows if they might be the fifth or sixth best one. I will go back to what he said about the running backs. He said 8 of his 10 running backs are there. That means that they're all seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this means that it's a great class of running backs. I could be wrong there, but typically if you're a running back and you're a junior, you're ready to get out. You're going to get paid for getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't see a lot of great senior running backs. So to have them there, and if that is the best in the group, maybe it doesn't mean that there's going to be. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a lot of great running backs this year, but that's okay. I mean, that was just my observation. I mean, that's not a position that I think the Cowboys got to go and get. I think they do need to get one. In the middle rounds. I think it's time to draft a running back in a decent spot, 4th, 5th round.
How many picks do they have?
You got me. I think you've got your 7. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they've lost one, and I can't remember why.
Yeah, for some reason 6 popped right up. I think
they'll probably get a compensatory, so they're probably going to be right at 7.
Yeah. Now, this obviously you've heard that this isn't a quarterback-rich draft, which we're obviously not in the market for one of those. But with Dalton Schultz, and I didn't ask this question, but Dalton Schultz could possibly leave in free agency as well. Does tight end become that need that you want to get Will McClay on and say, hey, let's get us one of these guys?
I think so. I mean, because I also, what are you going to do with Jarvin? I mean, he's got some money that you could get rid of. I mean, if you want to, or if you want to just ride this thing out and say, hey, he was the guy. And, first year coming back from ACL is always kind of tough. and see, if he'll be the guy next year. But I mean, I don't like losing Schultz. But I do think whoever you bring in, you can. I mean, I think this offense is not built around Schultz. It's built around the other guys, and those guys are going to benefit from it. So
I think you let Schultz walk.
I think you have to.
You let him walk. The reason being, it's not a capability thing in terms of that position. It's can you get Jarwin to turn his doggone motor on? That's really all it comes down to. I don't think there's anything that Schultz does that Jarwin is incapable of doing. You know what I mean? You guys understand what I'm getting at? It's not a talent thing. So they need to have an offseason with Jarwin. Say, hey, bro, we gave you the bag. Now it's time for you to start cashing this thing in. And I think that's a discussion that has to be had with him. I think he needs to get his motor going. I think he has to have a willingness and a want to in terms of in the blocking game. That's something that they are going to expect of him. Schultz isn't a great blocker. Schultz isn't the greatest of receivers. He's not the greatest of yak yardage. There's nothing great about Schultz, but he was just effective. So I think you can ask that same thing of Jarwin, especially when you've already cut the check to him.
Yeah, especially in a season where you needed some great tight end play with blocking. We never got any of that. So obviously so many things coming down the road. We got a big-time draft coming. And the 2022 Dallas Cowboys are going to look a lot different than this year's squad. So, look, stay with us. We'll be right back here on Talkin Cowboys.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar, and a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere, and a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you'll see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor expert and find out what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more. Essilor. Hello.
I understand why his mic flip is so good. He has a stiffer mic than mine. Mine's is a little bit looser over there. I have some WD-40 on mine. His is like you gotta force it now.
No, that mic's about to fall apart, so be careful with it.
No disrespect. This is the Mickey mic. My fault.
Oh, we already know where it's going.
This mic is messed up because of Hellman.
Oh.
I think. Hellman likes to, every time he talks, he's got to get in there like he's a DJ and he's got to move it and shake it. And like you're not doing anything.
He's like a comedian.
Like an R&B singer.
Exactly. Little Jodeci over here.
Eddie Murphy on Raw.
You just put David Hellman in the Jodeci category, and I can't unsee it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Come and talk to me, Dave.
From a previous segment, by the way, I looked up, you were right on Jake the Snake's.
That's crazy. Yes. That's
he
nuts.
actually had 2 snakes. Do you know what the second snake was named?
Not a chance.
No. Damien 2?
No, it's Ludacris. Or excuse me, it's
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Yes. I kind of remember that now. Lucifer.
This is unbelievable, man.
Nick is.
It stops at like 1989, and then it's over. Then
It's over after 89. What happens?
He now knows all the Paw Patrol.
Yeah, right. I'm like, who's John Cena?
Right.
Okay.
Paw Patrol, hey, man, Dora the Explorer, those are my people. But, guys, I got to get down.
Chase is on the case, though.
Yeah.
He's always been on
Boy, I'm telling you, on every case.
That dude.
Don't even. So, I got a game I want to play with you guys. It's called Moving On, Grooving On, a Slow Down Gym Shoes.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Slow down gym shoes.
Got it. Yeah.
A slow down gym shoes. All right. If we need to wait a minute, there may be something a little bit more that we can add to this.
Stop the presses.
Stop the presses. All right. So, first player that I get to, two players, I'm going to combine them together. Okay. Randy Gregory versus Dorrance Armstrong.
Versus.
Mm-hmm. Are you moving on, grooving on from Randy Gregory? Are you slow down gym shoes on Randy?
Oh, man. I hate to say this.
Come on.
I'm moving on.
Do it now.
I'm moving on.
Are you serious?
I am.
What? You have been the biggest Randy Gregory supporter for many a day.
No, I've been a big fan of his, and I love his story. I love what he's been able to do, but, you can't keep everyone, and he's not going to take a discount, nor should he. And so I don't know. I think you have to move on. I mean, unless you're going to do something with Tank. But I think I'd rather have Tank than Greg. I don't want to move on with him. I think he's outstanding, but I don't know. I didn't see a lot of production there at the end. The penalties are still a problem, and you can't sign everyone. That's really the main thing for me.
Move on.
You're moving on.
Got to move on.
I like it.
Yeah.
I tell you, here's the thing. Jerry Jones, though, doesn't want to do that.
No.
He doesn't want to. He stood by him for a long time, and when no one else was, and so
that's his dude.
Yeah, it's gonna. And the thing, Randy loves Dan Quinn too. I mean, that's the first thing he talked about in training camp. Like, love this guy. So I don't know. I mean, you might have a shot, but I can't compete with these other teams. But I don't know. You think these other teams are gonna just be backing up the truck?
I still don't believe that Dallas is in a position to pay him even on a little bit of a discount. You just can't do it unless they get rid of Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
all right.
that's.
So Dorrance Armstrong, your defensive end, you've had him on your roster for.
Have we already moved on from Randy?
We're gonna move on. That's what he does.
I think we got a groove.
Yeah.
With him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dorrance Armstrong's gonna piss people off. I can promise you that. That's just my prediction. Third day of free agency. Schultz will be out the door, Gregory out the door, Curse maybe, and then they're going to hit him with the Dorrance Armstrong. And even though that's going to be a good, solid signing, people are going to be pissed. They're like, this guy,
Dorrance,
his 4.5 sacks or whatever he's got, they're not going to be happy about it. Even though you got to have good, solid players like that, defensive ends that can play special teams and do that. I mean, he's kind of one of those core players, but I think you have to keep him if you're not going to sign Randy.
Now, my next group of players to grooving on, or slow down gym shoes is DeMonte KZ versus Keon O'Neal. Are you moving on, grooving on from KZ?
I'm moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Why so dramatic?
This is my radio voice.
This is radio.
You can't out radio.
I absolutely cannot.
Or Kyle.
Absolutely cannot. Yeah, that's like Icy Hayes right there.
It's all good. Well, what about you for DeMonte KZ?
Well, I think I'm gonna evaluate this position and.
Are you doing Kyle?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. That's funny that you said that. I always wonder that about Kyle. Like, do you ever turn it off? I mean, do you ever just say, "I'll take a Big Mac and a 6-piece nuggets, please"? I'll take a Sprite with that, thank you.
He never turns it off.
I'm sorry that I did not hit the sponsor with that. I apologize.
He definitely never turns it off.
Reaching under the stalls. Can you spare a square? Kyle, is that you?
Reaches under the stall.
I know that voice.
Don't reach under the stall.
No, that's just no.
You're asking for trouble.
Kyle, can I have your autograph? Yeah, pass the pen.
You're acting like he doesn't keep one with him.
Oh man, this is. Right. So
watch
He's
out,
not,
people.
he's not like Heckman signing autographs in the bathroom.
Oh man. All right. So what about Keon O'Neal, Nick?
No, bye. I mean, what's that? Moving on.
We moving?
Nah, that didn't work. I don't think. I don't think it worked out.
I think it did. I think it worked out. I don't think that is a position that you can't fulfill what he did. That's all. That's the only reason why I look at that. Right? So you look at what you're going to have to pay a veteran versus what you'd be paying for a young guy. I think you can get that same productivity out of somebody who's younger now. Now that the guys have a year under their belt with Dan Quinn. Right? And the main reason why you brought those guys in was because of their understanding to help launch this thing with Dan Quinn as the leader on the defense side of the ball. Now you have that year under your belt. Guys are understanding of the system. I think you can now walk away from those guys if they're asking for too much.
You do need some linebackers. Somebody's got to play linebacker because I don't think it's going to be Leighton.
Yeah.
I mean, Leighton needs to play with somebody that I think Leighton needs to go into like the AFC North. I mean, I really do. I think he needs to go to a team that faces running styles like we saw against the 49ers. He played well in that game. He had some nice plays. It was a physical matchup. But when you're going up against these offenses that are throwing the ball around, that's not his thing.
He's a box linebacker.
Right. He needs and I think he needs to go in a division where it is a little bit more like that. I mean,
So my next group were going to be Jaron Curtis and Leighton Vander Esch, but you've already got the Leighton.
Yeah,
so I'm saying moving on from.
I'd move on from him.
Move on.
What about Jaron Curtis? Do you pay premium for Jaron Curtis?
I think this is the slow down.
Define premium.
Premium.
Slow down gym
This is a moment brought to you by Slow Down Gym Shoes.
I don't know what this means, but let's slow down.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you on the slow down gym shoes if I'm using that correctly. I think that you have
it's
to.
an SDGS. I mean, I think you just have to call it that. It's so popular. You just call it SDGS, right? Slow down gym shoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the
Unless
bracelet.
it's supposed to be with a J.
Get the bracelet.
You hit it so fast. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
I think you need him on the roster.
I did too.
I think that your best opportunity to retain him just happened this past week.
Yeah. My new nickname for him is AK-27.
AK-27.
He's an ass kicker.
I like that.
He's an ass kicker.
I like it.
That's what he is. I mean, he brings attitude, and he doesn't care. I mean,
and leadership.
That's what I'm saying. He brings that, and he doesn't care whose defense it is. Tank was out for so long, whatever. Yeah. Somebody needs a leader, and he steps up and does that. I think he's needed on this roster.
Yeah, I'm grooving on with him. I think his impact, obviously, no one during two-a-days or thought that he was going to make the impact that he did, and he came out of nowhere and absolutely became a star on this squad. But this is one for Nick. I really hope that this infuriates you. Leo Collins to left guard.
Ooh.
I'm okay with it. If he's going to do it. I mean, if he's going to do it, this is a huge offseason for him. But you know what, though? That's a lot of money you could save there. He very well could be in the moving on, because if you look at his contract, especially post June 1, you'd have to clarify him or designate him post June 1. You save about $10 million there.
Wow.
So I don't know if you would even want to pay that for your left guard, who hasn't done it in 5 or 6 years.
Right, so that'd be a slow down gym shoes for you to possibly get something in return, because you don't just let him walk, do you?
I mean, you trade him, but you can't trade somebody post June 1. So it is a big difference there. You saved like 2 or 3 this year, and you saved 10. So if you're going to do it, you'd have to do it in a post June 1, and I don't think that would be a trade part of it. But I don't know. With Tyron's situation, I mean, I think you got to have 3 tackles. You got to have 3 tackles. You do. I mean, Lyle might be in a situation where you actually do cut the guy post June 1. Like, not just designate him that. Because you wait till the draft. You see what you got. Oh, you ended up getting a guy at 24 who's a left tackle, can play a little bit of guard. He's your third guy with Steele and Tyron. Maybe not in that order, but Tyron and Steele. And then, maybe you can part ways. But I want to hear what Isaiah says about the left guard part. Do you like that?
I don't like him going to left guard, because then you have to try to find a tackle. And I think it's a lot easier to find a guard than it is to find a tackle. So I think that you keep your bookends where they are. You address your center and your left guard position with some either some competition at the center position. Definitely need to find a veteran left guard, not a rookie. You can get a rookie and develop on him unless he's an absolutely just beast and dog that you know he's going to come in there and just power drive guys. You need to get a veteran in there because you don't need Dak questioning you don't need anything else on his plate in terms of him having question marks regarding what his capabilities are, or Kellen Moore. You need to take out all the excuses. Look, Kellen, listen, there's protection. Now what?
You know who they need? They need, and the old Cowboy fans will get this, you guys will get this. They need Kyle Kozar.
Yeah.
They need that guy that's going to be cheap in free agency. He's been around. Maybe it hasn't worked out. He comes here. He was the worst player on that offensive line and one of the best players still, because that was a talented line.
Yes, it was ridiculous.
And it was a big line. That's the thing they got to go back to. I mean, look at the center. The center was Andre Gerard.
330.
Right. You know, but then you had Leonard Davis, which was a country, and then Flo, and then Mark Colombo, who was just
zip code.
Yeah, Mark Colombo was just like. I mean, if he wasn't playing football, he'd have that black T-shirt on outside the club that just said staff. You know, he's just a bouncer. He's just ready to fight people.
Yeah, that's the guy that you don't not show your ID to. Here's my ID, sir. I just want to get in safe.
Leather vest on.
That's Joe Judge, right?
That's Joe Judge. Chris.
Yeah, buddy.
That's Joe Judge. This is the last guy.
You forgot about that.
Yeah, no, Joe Judge sure didn't. So then you're fine with Terrence Steele at the right tackle position.
I'm not fine. I'm not fine. You hold your breath every time, but
you're grooving though.
But I mean, you didn't even mention Terrence Steele. He's not.
You keep your tackles. Terrence Steele could be your swing tackle. Once again, backup. But you want Tyron and you want Lyle in there, and you need to ensure that your tackle. It's too hard to find good tackles. It's too hard. Even if they're not what they were, they're still better than what you could probably find.
Let's start looking though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This year?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying you don't address it by bringing somebody in to start developing them, but in terms of finding somebody that can just walk in and be your starter, I don't think that's really a reality right now.
From the guy that is ready to mortgage our future, Isaiah Stanback, ready to put it all online. Guys, this has been fun. I really appreciate it. Talking Cowboys episode 580. Chris Beam in the back, thank you so much. And to Nick Eatman, thank you for standing there for pushing P Island, Rob Phillips, and obviously my guy here, Isaiah Stanback, and for Talking Cowboys and Kyle Yeomans. I have to throw him in there as well. This has been Talking Cowboys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?